Y'all, burnout is real. Burnout is a real thing, and today's episode, we're going to dive deep into burnout, and I want to help you to understand some of the signs of burnout that you may not even realize are signs of burnout. I really felt compelled to do this episode today because it's kind of personal for me, if I'm being honest. I found myself in a situation this week that I wasn't very proud of. And so I needed to do some research, and I really felt compelled to talk about the subject of burnout. So today we are going to dive into recognizing the signs of burnout, and then we're going to talk through how to implement effective strategies to help you overcome it. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. Hey there, you professional, ambitious, working mama. Welcome to the Christian Career Coach Podcast. Do you want to achieve remarkable success and experience unwavering faith in your professional journey? Do you find yourself up late at night searching for answers on how to make more money, maintain a positive work-life balance, and achieve exponential career growth? Do you wake up with big, ambitious goals only to feel overwhelmed and uncertain when faced with setbacks, frustrations, and unexpected challenges? Well, you're in the right place. I'm Susan Edwards, and on this podcast, we tackle those exact concerns head on. We dive deep into strategies to propel your income, accelerate your career growth, and help you align your work with your faith. So, if you're tired of feeling stuck and you're ready to embrace extraordinary success, unwavering faith, and a purposeful life, then join me on the Christian Career Coach Podcast. Together, we'll navigate the obstacles, find clarity amidst chaos, and unlock your true potential. Get ready for inspiration, actionable advice, and powerful insights that will empower you to conquer your fears and create the fulfilling career you've always dreamed of. Let's walk this transformative journey together. Welcome to the Christian Career Coach Podcast, where ambition meets faith and your dreams find their wings. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Christian Career Coach. I'm Susan, your host, and I am not overly excited to talk about this topic, but I do recognize the importance of burnout, and I know that we can all suffer from this from time to time. So I really wanted to highlight this because it is so important, and you don't just experience burnout from your career, but you can literally experience burnout from life. I mean, you could get just overly exhausted from things and really just burn yourself out doing too much or being, what do they say? Busy, right? Oh, I'm so busy, so busy. Here's a little story for you that I'll share. I was at a conference one time, and I remember there was a speaker, and I can't remember if it was the keynote speaker or just a speaker, but everybody was in the same room, and so it wasn't like a breakout session or anything. So there were, I don't know, probably 300, 400 people in the room, and the speaker was talking, doing his speech, and it was all about being so busy and the way that Americans pride themselves on being so busy, and you're proud. You have that feeling of being proud when your calendar is so full that you have to tell people that you're just so busy. You're just so busy. It's almost comedic. Is that the right word? Comedy? It's almost funny that we have pushed ourselves as a society to thinking that we have to fill in every minute, every hour of our calendar because we need to be busy. I, of course, have small children, and now I read a lot of stuff about raising kids and the difference in schooling now versus schooling 20, 30 years ago, and how much time kids spend inside versus outside, and, of course, the statistics on kids using electronics nowadays, and even babies. It's no longer, the joke is no longer like a 2-year-old can use an iPhone. Babies can now use iPhones. So I can attest to this. Not that I gave my kids, they didn't get their iPads until they were probably 4 and 5, and they really only use them when we go on road trips. However, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that we as a society are so busy keeping ourselves busy, just being busy for the sake of being busy. What happened to the days of allowing ourselves to be bored? And so much good can come from being bored that we tend to forget. I was actually listening to another podcast. I, of course, am an avid podcast listener, and this episode was all about homeschooling kids and keeping them outside for a certain amount of hours each day. And the mom had said when she first started doing it, she was like, oh my gosh, how could I ever keep them outside? Because it was like 4 or 5 hours. I can't remember the number. And she was like, how could I ever keep them outside for 4 hours and yada yada. And she was with another mom. They went on a play date, and needless to say, they were there. Their kids were playing together. These were 2 nursing moms who were just out at like a field, not even like a park with a playground or anything. They were just at a field that they took like a picnic and just let the kids go out. There were stumps and mud holes and things for them to jump in and play in and things like that. But they literally had the opportunity to be creative, and those are the types of things that kids need to do in order to build up those skills that we need as adults, such as creative thinking, strategic thinking, communication, all of those various life skills that most kids just aren't seeing anymore. And that is, of course, because of the amount of time that they are spending on electronics. And they're not allowed to be bored anymore. So it was just a really interesting take on, we really are just so busy bees, right? And so I found myself in a situation this past week where I wasn't yelling at my kids, but I knew that I was losing my patience with them. And it was shortly after I picked them both up at the end of the day, pick them up from the daycare center. I haven't even been around them that long, and I find myself being short with them with my answers and being really bossy and do this now and pick this up now and change your clothes. We're going to the ball field, and you need to have this on, not that. No, you need to tie your shoe this way. And then as I was driving, I also felt that sense of road rage that I don't normally feel. And I immediately stopped and said, God, I am giving this to you because I know that this is not me. This is not who I am. I have so much peace. I don't typically lose my patience with my kids, but something's got to give. And I recognized in that moment that we are in a season right now that we are literally so busy. I say that not to brag, but I am literally taking my kids to the dentist weekly because we took them to the dentist a few weeks ago for the first time in a couple of years. And of course, they both have multiple cavities, have to get fillings and crowns. So this is like a weekly procedure because in kids, they won't do it all at once. They do like a piece of your mouth at a time. So basically they break your mouth into like 4 quadrants: lower left, lower right, upper right. And so I'm taking each of them back-to-back days, Monday and Tuesday, to the dentist. Then I'm dropping them off at either daycare or school, and then I'm rushing to get to work. And then I am busy at work all day long. This is a really busy season for us right now, just in the whole world of recruiting J1 visa students. This is just that time of year that it gets really, really busy because a lot of employers are hiring their seasonal summer help. And so that's one of the visas that we do, is the summer work and travel visa. So I don't really have time for breaks, don't really eat lunch. I tend to eat at my desk. So I'm not getting a break for lunch. And then I have to leave work a little bit early every day because I have to go up to pick up my kids. I have to drive, pick up my kids, and then drive to whatever after school activity it is. So we're in baseball season right now, and both of my kids are playing this year. My daughter started t-ball, and my son is in the 8 and under league, which is basically coach pitch. So he's had games on Mondays and Wednesdays, practice on Tuesdays. And then my daughter has gymnastics on Thursdays, and so Friday is the only day of the week that we don't have anything happening after school. And the last 2 weekends, we were traveling one weekend, and then we had something else going on the weekend before that, where there was just a period of time leading up to this past week when I found myself at this moment of almost like internal crisis of burnout, realizing that we are super busy and it's not going to end for another few weeks. So I'm going to have to deal with this. I've got to figure out what's going to work. So that's really my reason for wanting to do today's episode about burnout. And it's important, first and foremost, that we understand different signs that can help us know that we are experiencing burnout. And it's not really something that happens overnight. I mean, me sharing this story just tells you that it's been weeks leading up to this point, and I kept thinking to myself, oh yeah, that's fine. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this, thinking that it was going to be okay. But it came to a head this week when I was driving and I found myself at that burnout point. So if you have these same feelings, it's okay to recognize that it is burnout. It could be a sign of burnout. It really is gradual. It's a gradual process that leads up to that moment where it happens. It can sneak up on anyone. So if you can recognize the signs early on, it's crucial for you to be able to figure out how to strategize, how to get over it. So I have just a list of 4 common symptoms that I want to tell you about today. And maybe this will help you. Maybe you're in a similar situation and you're feeling the same way and you're like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe this will give you something to think about. And then I want to bring it back, of course, to our faith and think, what does the Bible say about this? And so I have a Bible verse, of course, from Matthew later on that I'm going to share, but let's jump into the symptoms first. So the first symptom on the list is chronic exhaustion. And what this looks like is it's really feeling physically and emotionally drained, even though you're getting adequate rest at night. So even though you might be getting 8 or 9 hours of sleep, you feel physically and emotionally drained. Another symptom that is really common is cynicism and detachment. So if you're developing a negative or a cynical attitude towards work, towards your colleagues, towards your kids, towards your family, or just life in general, that can definitely be a sign of burnout. The third sign on my list is a decreased sense of accomplishment. So if you're feeling like your efforts are going unnoticed or that you're not making a meaningful impact, that can also be a sign of burnout. And then finally, there's some physical symptoms that you could experience. And that's things like headaches, digestive issues, or even other, physical ailments that are due to prolonged stress. Of course, these signs can manifest differently in each of us individually, but they all indicate a state of burnout that requires attention. So what does the Bible say about this? So let's jump into Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, and this is from the NIV version. It says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." So just as this verse offers solace to those burdened by life's challenges, recognizing the signs of burnout, it allows us to acknowledge our struggles and to seek restorative measures. Hearing the stories from back in the days of Jesus, I can relate to this just so much today, and I love hearing those stories and different Bible verses that stand out to me, and hearing the stories of how God helped those that needed rest when they needed it. And if you remember to just let go and let God, He will handle this for you. If you unburden yourself with the stresses of being so busy, this will help ultimately in releasing all of these feelings and emotions and this level of stress and let it go to God. Let Him handle things for us. And I'm happy that I was able to recognize it in the moment when it was happening, because I was able to stop it and realized that I needed to speak in a more loving tone to my children and look at them in the eyes and let them know that I love them and I was supportive of them and I was just helping them. It was really helpful, and I didn't have to walk away from that situation. I didn't have to lay down at the end of the day with a weary head. I was able to clear my head of it when it was happening and just remembering to stop and pray and give it to God. And I hope that you're able to do the same thing. If you're experiencing something similar, I really hope that you're able to just stop, pray, let go, and give it to God. So I know this was kind of a personal episode today, but I wanted to let you know that I do have a few follow-up episodes to this. I've actually got 3 more episodes that I really want to dive into burnout about. The topics are going to be just exploring the root causes. What are some factors that contribute? What are those root causes, and how can we explore those a little bit more deeper? That's going to be the next episode. And then the final 2 episodes will be about how to implement those effective coping mechanisms. And the final one is going to be creating that sustainable work-life balance. Or maybe it's family life balance. Maybe it's just the life balance that you need. But there will be some follow-up episodes, since these are just short episodes, that I think will be really helpful for all of us to listen to and come back to it whenever we need to, and recognize and learn some ways that we can fix these situations in the moment when they happen. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I am looking forward to chatting with you in the next one. Hey there, ambitious mama. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Christian Career Coach podcast. If it resonated with you and provided valuable insights, I'd love for you to take just 30 seconds and share this episode with a fellow Christian professional who may benefit from the career advice and inspiration. Together, we can uplift and empower more women on their professional journeys. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Oh, and one more thing that would mean the world to me. Could you leave a review? Your feedback and support light me up and let me know that this podcast is making a positive impact in your life. As we continue this journey together, remember that you're not alone. I understand the joys and challenges of being an ambitious mama, and I'm here to cheer you on every step of the way. So mark your calendar, because I'll meet you back here next Tuesday for another episode filled with valuable insights and practical tips. Until then, keep chasing your dreams, balancing your roles with grace, and shining brightly in your career and family life.